There is a range of fracture types, including avulsion fracture, a muscle or ligament pulls on the bone, fracturing it. Comminuted fracture, the bone is shattered into many pieces. Compression or crush fracture, generally occurs in the spongy bone in the spine. For example, the front portion of a vertebra in the spine may collapse due to osteoporosis. Fracture dislocation, a joint becomes dislocated, and one of the bones of the joint has a fracture. Green stick fracture, the bone partly fractures on one side, but does not break completely because the rest of the bone can bend. This is more common among children, whose bones are softer and more elastic. Hairline fracture, a partial fracture of the bone. Sometimes this type of fracture is harder to detect with routine X-rays. Impacted fracture, when the bone is fractured, one fragment of bone goes into another. Intra-articular fracture, where the break extends into the surface of a joint. Longitudinal fracture, the break is along the length of the bone. Oblique fracture, a fracture that is diagonal to a bone's long axis. Pathological fracture, when an underlying disease or condition has already weakened the bone, resulting in a fracture. Bone fracture caused by an underlying disease condition that weakened the bone. Spiral fracture, a fracture where at least one part of the bone has been twisted. Stress fracture, more common among athletes. A bone breaks because of repeated stresses and strains. Torus buccal fracture, bone deforms but does not crack. More common in children.